Thanks for tuning back in. I feel like I'm already getting sick again. I was just sick like 2 weeks ago, so that really sucked. Anyway, number 6 pick. Debut album from an American hard rock band. I guess you could call them metal, alternative rock, alternative metal. Basically one of the first examples of combining hip-hop and rock together. Maybe some light bulbs are already going off. 1992 was when it was released on Epic Records, and I got it on CD here. Debut album from Rage Against the Machine. Yep. This is one of those timeless albums that is a classic for a reason. I was talking about System of a Down's debut being like one of the strongest political statements in modern music history, and this album's definitely a big statement in that regard too. Maybe more of like a social commentary, and maybe not as direct of a political statement as an album like System of a Down's was, but just obviously paved the way for so many similar albums like it to come out, and bands like Downset coming out from LA with that same kind of sound, same kind of social angst, and POD, even though they did it in a more Christian way than a lot of other bands. So yeah, just a lot of albums, in the 90s certainly sounded like this album after this came out, and the production is just pristine. I've heard that audiophiles like to use this album to test speakers, which I'm not surprised about. Just the bass drum sounds great. You can tell the mics were great that they used to record this thing with, and just the great bass tone, the way the guitars are layered going from one channel to another is very interesting too, and every song is great on this album. Starts out with Bomb Track, just crushing, very heavy and very simplistic, I guess, kind of rockin' tune. Killing in the Name is obviously Killing in the Name, their most iconic song for a reason. With its fuck you, I won't do what you tell me ending that, everybody's, I guess, kind of surprised to hear when they first hear it. Take the Power Back is, very, very cool guitar solo in that one. I like that. The fact that there's not really any effects on the guitar solo. He's actually playing without doing all the weird noodling that he normally does with the, whammy pedal and the kill switch and that sort of thing. Settle for Nothing is probably the most different sounding song on the album, in the sense that it's a little bit darker, a little more dreary sounding, almost kind of slow and moody, as it kind of ebbs and flows and gets heavy and intense. Bullet in the Head is a great song. Always loved that one. Loved how it stays rocking and then gets to that middle point where it just kind of takes off at the end with just that heavy riff. And Know Your Enemy is a fan favorite. Lots of cool guitar work on there. And that ending where he, it's just him yelling about American dreams and that kind of thing. Very, not one of my favorite moments on the album, but it's very intense and kind of forces you to listen to the message that he's preaching. Wake Up is an epic song. I love that when it gets quick with that fast riff towards the middle section, and then gets quiet and builds up to that huge ending. Very cool the way they do that. Fistful of Steel is another one I've always thought was really underrated. Just a very cool use of guitar effects, kind of cool lyrics. But yeah, the way the bass player Tim Comerford does that sort of sliding effect on the middle section of Fistful of Steel, where you think it's actually Tom Morello doing some of his scratching thing. Cool how they kind of interchange that with each other. Township Rebellion, oh man, such a weird bass line, and drum beat with that first section, and then the heavy kind of hook riff, and then that middle point where you just hear that kind of slow, heavy guitar riff, that kind of hard to explain it. You just gotta hear it to know what I'm talking about. But it's just got that cool like middle riff that escalates with the screaming vocals, and after everything that came before, I think is really cool how they did that. And then the closing track, Freedom, is, in my opinion, one of the greatest closing tracks of all time. I think it deserves to be right up there with, When the Levee Breaks and A Day in the Life. It's just it perfectly captures what they were going for on this album conceptually. I think just super dynamic, cool lyrics and really heavy guitar riffs, and the great, I think one of Tom Morello's best guitar solos in the middle, not too many effects, just really cool melodies going on, and then just the crazy bombastic ending where they all smash their shit and unplug their shit at the end. Just awesome, perfect way to send it off. And it's funny, going back and listening to this, I find that I seem to go, originally when I was younger, in high school especially, like listening to this album constantly. It was more so the songs like, Bomb Track and Bullet in the Head and Wake Up and Freedom that I was really drawn to. Whereas I go back now and I feel like it's almost got the Rush Moving Pictures effect, where you go back to the lesser listened to songs and appreciate those a little bit more as you get older, like Take the Power Back and Settle for Nothing and Township Rebellion. Cool how that album has that effect on you. But yeah, every song is great. I probably could have even ranked this a little bit higher, but I don't know. Got some other good picks coming, so